Former Fox News host Megyn Kelly is drawing criticism for her refusal to speak out against some of her fellow right-wing commentators like Owens and Tucker Carlson. Both have been accused of spreading conspiracy theories and promoting anti-Semitism in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death.
Their comments came as debate continues within conservative circles on the touchy subject of how much support the U.S. owes to Israel. Megyn Kelly has responded to those calling for her to separate herself from Owens and Carlson by saying, quote, "I'll have no obligation to separate myself from anyone. If you need me to condemn Candace or Tucker for their opinions in order to listen to me, then I may not be for you. He's a close friend, and she is under enough pressure without gratuitous shots from me. My fight is with the left, not with these two." That post from Kelly sparked some backlash. Russian political commentator Konstantin Kisin replied to Kelly saying, "The problem with this approach, which many on the right are taking, is that this is exactly how the left allowed its own extremists to first flourish and then to become the face of the entire movement." And Babylon Bee managing editor Joel Berry writes, "Loyalty to friends above all else is an admirable trait. It makes you a good friend. I'm not sure that's a luxury afforded to trustworthy journalists, however."
However, there are others on the right who agree with Kelly that there needs to be less infighting between conservatives. Former Fox contributor Brianna Morello says, quote, "Kudos to Megyn Kelly for not giving in to the mob. We can have a difference in opinion without attacking or disowning our friends."
Yeah. Ugh, I hate Brianna Morello.
And you hate everybody after we come out of the quote. You hate everybody. You hate Candace Owens in there too. You hate LeBron. Like, you hate everybody today.
I do hate Brianna Morello. I don't hate Megyn Kelly at all. I like and appreciate Megyn Kelly. I don't know her personally, but I think she's a fantastically talented conservative personality, and I often agree with her takes. Tucker, our viewers know, I do know a little bit. I worked for him many years ago, and I was on his show when he had a show on Fox, and I've learned a lot from him, and I like him a lot, even when I disagree with him, which happens with some regularity, as it happens with everyone. Candace, I don't know at all, and I hold in very low regard.
And you love her.
So I'm all over the place on this. I agree with Megyn. I understand where Megyn's coming from. The being pressed by people online you don't know to condemn someone you've been friends with or you've associated with is really annoying when people do it. I would never do it. I say, why haven't you condemned? It does make you want to double down on your support for that person. And you can be friends with people you disagree with. You can be friends with people you really disagree with. I think that's a good impulse. That's different than saying that they're right about everything. And I'm more talking about Candace here. I think she has an extreme anti-Israel axe to grind that I don't even necessarily disagree with aspects of her program there. I, too, think Israel has gone way too far in this war. I, too, don't want to give them military support from the U.S., so we'd have a lot of points of commonalities. I think she routinely says things that are incorrect.
But you don't make it your business to try to tweet about Candace Owens and condemn incorrect each time.
I make fun of her in tweets every now and then.
But do you do it as often as, like, let's say, you do it more often than not?
Well, every now and then I make a meme about her or something.
Okay, well, I was going to argue that you have better things to talk about, like actual policies on the other side of the aisle that you really disagree with, that I generally see you tweeting about.
I have a hard time taking her seriously because she comes from a background that is suspect to me. She was a if you go back, she's held every political position under the sun at various points in time.
Okay, so has Joe Rogan then at this point. Like, you have to allow nuance and people to come into. President Trump is not a normal president. He's not a traditional Republican.
I think Joe Rogan's attitudes are steered by the interesting conversations he has and
You're giving him all the excuses. He never told you that.
Genuine ideological. Well, he talks for 3 hours every day. I've listened to a fair amount of him. I think his thinking evolves, and it's. What can I say? I think it's genuine. With Candace, I think it's not genuine. I think it has to do with who her audience is and how she makes money. And she started as a left-wing person. She's held every view on Israel under the sun. I know I beat up on her a lot, and maybe people watching are big fans of her. I am not. That's just a difference of opinion we have. But I don't need Megyn Kelly to throw her under the bus. But it sounds like Candace is not even a close friend of hers necessarily.
Yeah, she was very clear that Tucker Carlson is her actual good friend.
She's under enough pressure already. She
doesn't want to pile on.
Facing is, well, I don't like.
She's getting sued by a foreign government right now. She's like, got a lot going on.
Well, because she made.
She started it, but I'm just saying she
lie. Like, even Even Nick Fuentes thinks Candace Owens is nonsense. I mean, doesn't that tell you something?
With Megyn Kelly, to circle back to her, I liked her response. It said, it reminded me of my personality. Like she said, quote on tweet, in a tweet, the more one insists that I say what one demands me to, the more committed I get in my refusal. And I was like, you know what? Go ahead, stand on business, because you don't have to do anything. The freedom
Right,
of
I'm not asking her to do it.
right, and the freedom
I like
of
her.
the freedom of looking at somebody like your best friend Don Lemon, or like like Megyn Kelly, who both have went on to go start media empires and growing.
I hold Don Lemon
continue
and Candace Owens in about the same low.
Well, that's ridiculous, but let me finish. So the fact that they both went on to go start their own things and are allowed to freely and autonomously use their voice is something that I think admirable on both ends of the spectrum. And the fact that they're doing it their way is something that's also admirable in this time where you call a lot of traditional mainstream media kind of dated and outdated. And so therefore they're just blazing the trail and they don't have to conform. They don't have any boss. That's the beautiful thing about young people creating this in this creator economy. A lot of people don't have a boss besides themselves. They have to just stay relevant to whomever is subscribing to them and continue to talk about things that matter to them. And so people subscribe to Megyn Kelly because they like her perspective and the way she presents stuff. That doesn't mean you always have to agree. But if you feel that you always have to agree, then she said specifically, you don't belong here. Adios.
Well, and she had great advice. I saw her. She was at a Turning Point event in the immediate aftermath of Charlie Kirk's death, and she got asked. She was answering questions from Turning Point students, and I thought she gave a great answer to this. She was asked by someone who said, you know, there's so many podcasters, influencers, people we're getting our news from. How do we know how to trust? We hear things sometimes that sound crazy, but we don't know whether it's crazy. Who should we trust? And Megyn Kelly had, I'm going to use this answer all the time. I thought it was a great answer. She said, pick 2 people who you trust, and you'll know you should trust them because they will occasionally tell you something that you don't want to hear, something that is unhelpful for your side. They'll give you the truth on it. They'll give you the facts. They'll tell you something you don't want to hear. And if they can do that, then that's someone you should trust. If they never do that, then you should be suspicious of them. I think that's really good advice.
That's a fine piece of advice, but I also think that another layer to that is to make sure that you do your own research. Like somebody who's you and I having dialogue and talking about something is one thing, but the facts of the matter still remain. And I know sometimes it's hard to find the facts because you believe there's a big bias, and it's hard to find the facts.
But easily distinguish.
But maybe
facts
like even to somebody, I would say, let's say like when Obama used to speak, I worked at MSNBC. Every time he had a press conference, I used to turn on my own network, and then I used to go to Fox and see what they said about it. And the same event was presented so differently that even I was blown away. Like,
well, I think that's a healthy tendency to.
But I used to do that.
Yeah,
so, but intentionally, and I was like, wait, okay, so this is a little dramatized.
No one's watching TV.
This is a little bit incorrect and dramatized, but I still came to my own opinion. I'm like, wait, okay, so people who lived this experience have said this as I talk to my friends. So everything doesn't have to be that detailed of a conversation. Like, right, if Pfizer's going to drop the price, like we talked about today, they're dropping the price. We'll see if it happens or not. But some conversations require a lot of detail in order to back up like some erroneous claim. Like if you're talking about Candace Owens and she's your trusted source, just go to the opposite of her and figure out what they're saying and find out where you lie in the opinion of it all. Or if you want the facts of it all, go to several people and figure out what your answer is.
Yeah, well, by all means, listen to Candace, and then listen to someone else who's
you're about
who's
to say
gonna
something
say,
funny.
well, okay, but here's the parts of that don't quite add up. And do that for us. Do that for everyone. It's all fine by me.
Nothing is set in stone. Nothing is law. We have a lot more to talk about on Rising. Stay with us, guys.